Hey guys, welcome back. I figured today I can maybe. I mentioned yesterday I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day somehow, and I think I can mix that in with my therapy stuff that I did this week. It's kind of similar. Not really. I don't know. Let's just talk about therapy to start. But actually, you have to do this quick. Go. Ah, shoot, I'm dead. I guess you have infinite lives. I didn't know that. The first thing I wanted to mention is he brought up this idea of doing free association. Why can't I say that word? Association. I guess I've never said it out loud. I didn't know that I. Drop. Now, pull it up. Go. Drop. Oh, pull it up. Ah, shoot. I don't like this camera. Okay, go. Okay, good. So the beginning of our next session, we'll do this free association thing. Which is basically, he brought it up because he said, like, I don't know if he said this, but he's like, you think too much before you talk. So maybe we could try like I'll say something and then you just say the first thing that comes to your mind, and then I'll say something and it'll like force you to talk without thinking and without like judging yourself. Oops. And I thought, well, that's interesting. It's gonna be hard for me because I can already tell. This is something I've mentioned before. I think I have a problem with like my eyes getting watery whenever like, whoa, that was cool. It feels random, but I know it has to do with like just like maybe vulnerability or like intimacy, like being vulnerable, which is weird because I'm vulnerable here, but my eyes never get watery. But like if there was somebody else there, I was talking to them, my eyes would get watery. It's like it might be like a weird defense mechanism to like stop myself from being vulnerable. It's weird. But I know when I do this free association thing, it's gonna happen. So I guess I want to talk to him about that. Like maybe before we do it, like can we maybe address this thing first, because it's embarrassing and I want to fix it. I won't be able to look at him in the eyes when I do it. But I think it's a good idea. And go. No, oh. He gave me another thing to do. Before I go back next time, he wants me to. I downloaded this app on my phone called Meetup, which is like you meet with people and do like fun stuff. And he's like, before we meet next time, I want you to sign up for something. I didn't do that right. This is the hardest assignment he's given me so far. So far, he's given me stuff like apply for a new job, or I guess that's really it. Like we did a lot of job stuff, so he's like, update your resume now, apply to a job now, call somebody or something. I don't know. And I've been able to do all that stuff pretty easily, but this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I don't want to do it. And I want to talk more about it. And here, like, why don't I want to? I talked a little bit about it last week, like, and I told him I've never had fun doing anything with other people. That's kind of not true. I mean, definitely since I was like maybe 14 or 15. And it has to involve me talking somehow. It can't be like I'm going to a basketball game with my parents tomorrow. Like, I know that's going to be fun because I don't have to talk. I could just watch the game, and I'll be excited if they win. Like, I'll be sad if they lose, but it'll be fun. But that doesn't count for me. He wants me to do stuff, it seems like, where I have to talk. He wants me to challenge myself, I guess. Maybe I'm giving off a vibe to him that, like, that's something that I want. Like, I want to talk more. I don't know if I do. I thought that was interesting, like, to say to somebody, like, I've never had fun doing anything with other people. He didn't really, like, latch onto that idea, and I thought that maybe that would, like, be interesting to him. Like, wait, what? You've never had fun with anybody ever? How is that possible? But it's kind of true. I mentioned, like, when I was in high school, I did a lot of stuff like soccer and jobs and church stuff. I never enjoyed it. There's no button on this level. How am I supposed to beat it? Maybe it's easier to go over this way. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm good. How do you do this? I don't know if I can do this one. Oh. That's so hard. Wow. I tried to explain it to him, like, he talked about, like, well, there's this, we looked through the app, and there was this, like, place where, like, he was like, do you like food? And I was like, yeah, I like food. So there's this place, like, meet up at a restaurant and eat food with people. I mean, that's not just, like, terrible for me. That would be, like, terrible for a normal person, right? To just meet strangers and eat with them. Shouldn't I ease into something like that? Got it. I feel like if I could do something like that, I would be, like, basically cured already. I was thinking about this weird analogy today with green beans. What was I thinking? I hate green beans. I've never liked green beans. I hate talking. I've never liked talking. So I was thinking about it like this, like, imagine if interacting with people was the same as eating green beans or talking to people. Anytime, I think I've, like, tried to explain this before, but I use juggling as an analogy. I think this is a better analogy. So just reverse. Instead of, whenever you have to interact with somebody, if you want to communicate with somebody, you have to eat green beans. So if I want to ask somebody where the library is or whatever, I have to eat green beans. If I have to ask somebody for help with something, I have to eat green beans. Instead of asking them, I communicate with them by eating green beans. It's hard to explain. But this analogy is going to make sense, I promise. So I guess pick a food for you that you've always hated and that you've never liked eating. And imagine every time you had to interact with somebody, you had to eat that food to communicate. That's how I feel like with talking. Whenever I'm forcing myself to talk, it feels like I'm forcing myself to eat green beans, but I know I'm never gonna like green beans. No matter how much I think about it in a different way, or like try to force myself to maybe put like rice around it and try to. I'm still never gonna like green beans. Is this making sense? That's how talking feels. It feels like I'm forcing myself to do something I'm never gonna like doing, or even socializing in general. I know that can't be true. There must be some way to like it, but that's how it's felt my whole life. I've never, and it feels like, imagine how much it would suck if your whole life, anytime you had to do something, you had to eat green beans, or you had to eat broccoli or cauliflower or liver or whatever you hate eating. Is that making sense? That made I felt pretty smart when I was thinking about that today. Like, that's because we keep talking about like doing social things, and I keep having trouble explaining to him like, well, what if I'm never gonna like doing this, because I'm 26 years old and I've done so much stuff my whole life. Like, what if I know it's not true. I know it's just I haven't found something that I've liked doing with other people. I know it's hard. It's a tough green bean to swallow, but I know that's the truth. But it's easier to just think like, is it to just give up? It's easier, and just be like, I'm never gonna enjoy being around people. Because it feels like I haven't. It's not like I haven't tried. Like, maybe I haven't tried in the right ways or whatever. But this is tough. I'm gonna run out of time. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Ah, it's tough. And I could tell he's trying to be like really positive with me. I was being a little bit self-conscious about like being too negative, always being like, I guess I'm trying to play like devil's advocate a little bit, like, well, I'm trying to confront my negative thoughts, which is good. And not just like be agreeable with him all the time and be like, okay, yeah, I'll do whatever you say. I want to be like, well, this is going to be hard for me and I don't want to do it, so let's confront those thoughts. That seems good. But I do get self-conscious about being like so pessimistic all the time. Oop. And he's always like, he keeps saying like, you haven't done this yet, like you're gonna do it. And he's being positive, and it's a little bit frustrating sometimes, because it kind of feels like when he keeps doing that, like he's not listening to me. Like, I don't think I can do this. I can't do this. He's like, you can't do it yet. We're going to get you to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. I think I went over. I'm not feeling as sick as I was before, which is good. It's not making me like seasick, like moving the board around and stuff, which is good. I thought that might happen. Being slouchy. Okay. Have a good day. I didn't talk about Valentine's Day too much, but that's okay. Maybe tomorrow. See you tomorrow.